listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd. A former Florida youth pastor has been arrested and charged after a high-speed crash that killed his 8-year-old daughter. 38-year-old Joel Isaias Lanez was driving an Audi Q7 SUV with his 3 children after leaving a church concert on the night of January 17th when the crash occurred on Military Trail in West Palm Beach. Investigators determined Lanez was traveling 104 miles per hour in a 40-mile-per-hour zone when he swerved to avoid another vehicle and struck a concrete pole. His daughter Zoe died of her injuries at a hospital. Lanez reportedly told police he did not think he was speeding because he had kids in the car and failed a blood alcohol test showing a level of 0.097. He now faces DUI, manslaughter, and vehicular homicide charges. Lanez, who previously served at New Covenant Church, has been ordered to have no contact with his surviving daughters. His next court date is scheduled for August 18th. André and Jenny Roebert, the founders of the global Christian television network Faith Broadcasting Network, known on air as My Faith TV and headquartered in East London, South Africa, are ending their 34-year marriage on what Jenny describes as biblical grounds. Jenny Roebert, 54, filed for divorce on June 30 in Collier County, Florida, stating the couple has lived separately since around May 20, and that the marriage of the parties is irretrievably broken. In a video statement, she said she and her 3 adult children have been severely wronged over the past 18 months, though she did not detail her husband's actions, adding, "We have forgiven as a family and individually." The network's boards had earlier asked the couple, whose ministry reaches over 264 million viewers, to take a sabbatical, citing significant marital challenges. The filing reveals substantial assets, including Florida businesses and 5 South African hotels, with Jenny seeking more than 50% of the marital estate. Gulf Coast communities are bracing for storm surge and heavy rain as Tropical Storm Bertha, the second named storm of the 2026 Atlantic hurricane season, nears landfall. Currently off the coast of Alabama, Bertha is expected to make landfall in southeastern Louisiana Wednesday night, weakening to a tropical depression by Thursday and a post-tropical cyclone by Saturday. While it's not forecast to reach hurricane strength, the National Hurricane Center has issued tropical storm warnings for Florida's Bay Gulf County line to Louisiana's border, with peak storm surges of 2 to 4 feet expected. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves said, quote, "The state of Mississippi is in contact with local emergency managers and coastal counties have begun preparing," adding there are no unmet needs at this time. The heaviest rainfall should remain offshore. Rick Melson has been elected the new president of Moody Bible Institute following an extensive national search after his predecessor announced plans to step down. Melson, currently president of Southwest Baptist University in Bolivar, Missouri, will begin his term as Moody's 11th president on August 17th, succeeding Mark Jobe, who concluded his 7-year tenure at the end of June. Mark Flannery, the Moody trustee who chaired the search committee, praised Melson as a deeply committed follower of Jesus Christ, an accomplished leader in Christian higher education, an exceptional fundraiser, gifted communicator, and proven executive. Melson said he and his wife are deeply humbled by the confidence placed in them, pledging to seek God's wisdom as we strengthen Moody's educational mission, expand Moody Global Media's reach, and extend Moody Publishers' influence. Melson previously served alongside Pastor John Piper at Bethlehem Baptist Church in Minneapolis. This episode is sponsored by CrossMap. Looking for a place that fills your soul and strengthens your faith? Visit crossmap.com, your trusted source for inspiration and life-changing stories from people of faith. Have your own story to tell? CrossMap Blogs is a welcoming place to launch your own blog, publish your testimony, and share stories that glorify God and edify His people. And while you're there, sign up for the CrossMap Daily Newsletter and get top Christian videos, inspiring devotionals, and stories from other content creators to strengthen your faith delivered straight to your inbox. Be encouraged, be a part, be blessed. Visit crossmap.com and you can click that link in the show notes below. Our thanks to CrossMap for sponsoring this episode. Christian advocacy groups in the United Kingdom are pushing back against Amnesty International after being branded anti-rights in a recent report. Christian Concerns Head of Public Policy, Tim Dieppe, called the designation absurd, arguing that the human rights organization has fallen under an anti-Christian bias. The report named numerous Christian organizations, including the Christian Institute, the Evangelical Alliance, and the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children, targeting their positions on abortion and transgender issues. Gifford noted, quote, "It is also astonishing that not one Islamic organization was named in this report as anti-rights, yet dozens of Christian organizations were singled out." He added, "It is Amnesty that is now anti-rights." Following backlash, Amnesty withdrew the report, expressing regret that it was published without proper internal review, while affirming its commitment to defend human rights for all communities. Vietnamese authorities have penalized 119 Christians in Gia Lai province in the country's Central Highlands over alleged ties to separatist movements during the first half of 2026, according to the UK-based watchdog Christian Solidarity Worldwide. Citing local newspaper Toi Tre, police investigated and handled the Christians and opened 2 criminal cases, naming 4 defendants. Authorities accused them of links to Folro, a movement that took up arms decades ago seeking autonomy for ethnic minorities, and what the government calls Dega Protestantism, a term many rights groups view as a slur to delegitimize minority worship. CSW President Mervyn Thomas condemned the crackdown, saying, quote, "The Vietnamese government must be held to account for its ongoing assault on the right to freedom of religion or belief. Protestant Christians make up most of Vietnam's Montagnard population, who have faced increasing persecution." Media personality Kathie Lee Gifford, now 72, is opening up about the profound spiritual encounters that have shaped her faith, including meetings with Jesus and frightening brushes with what she describes as the demonic. Speaking on the Blurry Creatures podcast to promote her book Nero and Paul, Gifford recalled first seeing Jesus in a dream at age 6 while raking leaves with her father. "He looks down at me, he goes, 'Kathie,' smiled at me," she said. She committed her life to Christ at 13 after watching Billy Graham's film, The Restless Ones. Gifford also described darker experiences, including a chilling encounter with a cloaked monk in Bethlehem whose teeth got orange, the eyes blood red. She says these moments confirmed everything Jesus ever said, adding God is still in the miracle business. You can learn more about this story and everything you heard today by clicking the links in the podcast show notes below. Thank you for listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast. We encourage you to follow the show in your podcast player of choice, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or third-party podcast players like Overcast and Pocket Casts. You can also download the Edifi app for free and listen to all the podcasts on the Edifi network by clicking the link in today's podcast show notes. We would also appreciate a 5-star rating in Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us reach a wider audience with the Christian Post Daily Podcast. You can also subscribe to our daily newsletter and get the top headlines delivered to your inbox by clicking that link in the show notes as well. Thank you again for listening to the Christian Post Daily Podcast.